What is the cloud? You have heard the word thousands of times. It's in every job advert, every board presentation, every technology budget conversation. But if someone stopped you in a meeting right now and asked you to explain it in two sentences, would you? Well, today I'm going to give you a clear, plain English answer with no jargon, no assumed technical knowledge, and an explanation you would actually be able to use in real conversation. Here is the thing about the word cloud. Almost everyone who uses it confidently in a meeting can give you a rough answer, but very few can give you a precise one. It has become one of those words that people use because everyone else uses it. Admitting you do not fully understand it feels like admitting something embarrassing. So let me start by saying if you have been nodding along for years without quite knowing what it means, you are in good company. And the answer, once you hear it, is going to feel almost too simple. Here is the analogy I want you to hold on to for the rest of this video. Before electricity grids existed, every factory had to generate its own power. They built their own generators, maintained them, replaced them when they broke down, and calculated exactly how much capacity they would need for the busiest day of the year. Then the electricity grid arrived, and suddenly instead of running your own generator, you just plugged in. You paid for what you used. You never had to think about where the power came from. And the cloud is exactly that, but for computing power, storage, and software. Instead of every company running its own servers, they plug into someone else's infrastructure and pay for what they use. So, what is the cloud actually? In the simplest possible terms, it's other people's computers, enormous data centers, warehouses of servers owned and operated by Microsoft, Amazon, and Google. When your organization moves to the cloud, it means they have stopped running their own physical servers in their own offices or data centers, and instead, they're running their applications and storing their data on Microsoft's hardware or Amazon's or Google's. They're accessed over the internet, billed monthly, no hardware to buy, maintain, or eventually throw away. Who owns the cloud? There are three companies that provide the vast majority of cloud infrastructure in the world. Amazon Web Services, AWS, is the largest with around 31% of the market. Microsoft Azure is second, around 23%, and is the most commonly used platform in large UK enterprises. Google Cloud Platform, otherwise known as GCP, is the third at around 11%. When a job description says Azure Experience Preferred or AWS environment, this is what they mean. They are not asking you to build things on those platforms. They're asking you to be familiar with how they work and how costs are managed on them. So, what do organizations actually use the cloud for? Three things. First, running applications. Your organization's website, its HR systems, its finance software, its CRM in a cloud environment. These run on servers in a Microsoft or AWS data center rather than on servers in your office or in your own data center. Second, for storing data, files, databases, customer records, backups. Third, processing power for running complex analytics, artificial intelligence models, or a large scale data processing that would have been impractical on a local hardware. Before the cloud, all three of these things require physical infrastructure that the organization owned. After the cloud, they are rented on demand, whatever scale is needed. And that's to me is the key of the cloud. Why do organizations move to the cloud? The business case usually comes down to five different things. First is cost. Instead of buying expensive servers upfront, you pay monthly for only what you use. Second is scale. If your business doubles overnight, you can double your computing capacity instantly without ordering hardware. Third is speed. You can deploy a new application in hours rather than in months. Fourth is resilience. That means your data is automatically backed up across multiple physical locations. So a fire or flood in one data center does not mean you lose everything. And last, we have access. It means Your teams can work from anywhere on any device. Now, here is the important caveat. Cloud can actually cost significantly more than running your own infrastructure if it's not managed properly, which is precisely why cloud financial management, FinOps, exists as a discipline. Here is a number that surprises most people when they first hear it. The average organization wastes around 20 to 30% of its cloud spend every month. Not because the engineers are careless, but because cloud makes it very easy to provision resources and very easy to forget about them. An idle virtual machine that nobody is using, an idle oversized database that was scaled for a one-off project and never scaled back down. Storage buckets full of data that is never accessed. These are cloud costs that generate real bills and deliver zero business value. Finding them, quantifying them, and eliminating them is the job of a FinOps analyst. And it requires business acumen, analytical skill, and communication ability far more than it requires coding. Understanding what the cloud is and how it works at a business level is the foundation for the six most in-demand non-coding tech roles. FinOps analyst who manage cloud costs, cloud analyst who assess cloud environment, discovery analysts who map what organizations have before they migrate to the cloud, migration analysts who plan and execute the move to the cloud, IT program planners who manage tech delivery, and tech project managers who run the program. All six of these roles require you to understand cloud well enough to work in it and around it. None of them require you to build it. Before I close, let me give you three things to remember from this video. One, the cloud is rented computing power storage software, accessed over the internet, paid for monthly, running on infrastructure owned by Microsoft, Amazon, or Google. Two, there are three main providers: Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud. Most large organizations use Azure or AWS. Three, cloud saves organizations money on hardware, but waste money when resources are not actively managed. Hold on to these three things and you will be able to follow almost any cloud conversation in a business setting. This is cloud literacy. Now have it. If the electricity grid analogy clicks for you, or if you now feel like you can hold your own in a cloud conversation, subscribe. Every week, post a new video covering one aspect of technology careers for non-tech professionals. The next video will be on 5 technology terms that finance professionals hear every single week, but that nobody ever properly explains. Things like reserved instances, cost allocation, and showback reporting. Subscribe so you do not miss it. If you want to go deeper on cloud and technology right now, the Tech Clarity Visual Pack and the Tech Vocabulary Bootcamps both linked in the description below.